No, I
Swedish?
mean, I think you have it in a lot of European countries, but we have I think the kebab pizza that we have in Sweden is a typical Swedish, if you know what I mean.
He's
But I don't
pointing,
know if
Rocky.
Kebabpizzan uppfanns i Sverige på
I don't know. I quit before I died, so
1980-talet.
he can
Yeah,
point all
Yeah,
he want.
it was made in Sweden.
I
It
didn't
was made
die.
in the
So.
1980s or
oh,
created
nice.
in the 1980s.
I'm gonna go play some homework.
We'll see ya.
Good luck.
Bye.
Yeah. Good luck with that, nerd. Fucking
Rocky,
Imagine.
they have a salad, right?
Right.
Accounting's old, but is it still useful in the modern society that we've got? Yes, it is. Let's do a couple of little thought experiments. Let's imagine that the following were to disappear tonight. All novels and all college professors. Horrible, especially for those of us who would disappear. But could normal life continue? If you lost Tom Sawyer, if you lost Gone with the Wind, if all college professors were to disappear, yeah, it would be the lead item on the news the next day. But society could still continue going even though the cultural loss would be great. Now, let's also imagine that all of the following were to disappear. All bank records, all business account records, all college grading records. In other words, all simple bookkeeping records. What would happen? Society would freeze up. Societal gridlock. No bank records. I go down to the bank and say, I got to get some money out. They don't have any record. They don't know if you've got any money deposited there or not. And they're in trouble because they don't know who they've made loans to, so they don't know who they should be collecting money from. All business account records. Let's say that Walmart loses record of all the inventory that they've got on their shelves and everything they've ordered and everything they haven't paid for. And maybe some people owe them some money. All gone. They don't know what to do. All college grading records. Yeah, some of you would be pleased to see all of those disappear. But how do we know what the GPAs are? How do we know who gets scholarships, who doesn't get scholarships? All those things that college grading records are used for, gone overnight. Cultural loss if all novels and college professors disappear. Societal gridlock if all simple bookkeeping items were to disappear. First, exactly how old is accounting? Well, I'll tell you, it's old, really old. Accounting's old. Let's go back in time to ancient Mesopotamia, clear back 7,000 years ago to the Fertile Crescent. Back then, farmers were interested in counting their wheat and their sheep and their other farm products. Clay tokens have been found that date to 7,000 years ago that obviously were used by ancient Mesopotamian farmers to keep track of how much wheat do I have, how many sheep do I have more or less than I had last year. This is a initial form of bookkeeping, and it predates writing. Yeah, is accounting older than writing? It is. That's how old accounting is. There are three basic functions of an accounting system. First, an accounting system allows a contemporaneous or an immediate analysis of events. Okay, was that good news or bad news? Do we have more or less than we had before? What's going on here? So the accounting system allows us to analyze events as they occur. Second, the routine bookkeeping function, an accounting system allows a business to record in an organized fashion those things that happened. If you don't write it down, you're not really sure whether it happened or not. So routine bookkeeping is the second important function of an accounting system. Third, an accounting system is used for structuring the data so we can make decisions. Is that more or less than I budgeted? Is that more or less than last year? Am I on target or am I not on target? Should I pay people more? Should I pay people less? Those are the kind of things that are done through evaluation. An accounting system has three major functions: an analysis of events at the moment, getting those things recorded in a simple bookkeeping structure, and finally structuring the data so that they can be used for evaluation. Let's define the word accounting. Well, first of all, accounting involves numbers. It's quantitative. Now, that's great because we all love numbers, and it's even better than that. What kind of numbers? It's financial numbers. It's money. We're talking about money here. Accounting is about money, and it's about numbers. But it's not just a theoretical exercise. Accounting is designed to be useful. Useful in doing what? In making decisions. You see, accounting focuses on past information, but past information can be valuable when it points to the future. Accounting is the study of quantitative information, primarily financial in nature, that is useful in making decisions. Decisions can help us change what happens in the future. That is accounting. Because accounting is useful in making decisions, let's talk about the decision-making process just briefly. There are 4 steps in a decision-making process. First, identify the issue. Let's use a hypothetical issue. Let's say that we are trying to decide, should we open up a hot dog stand? We want to sell hot dogs. Well, there's the issue. Next, we have to gather information, and that is where accounting comes in, ladies and gentlemen. How much does a hot dog cost? How much can we sell it for? What are the costs? How much am I going to have to pay my employees? Should I have a simple stand, or should I build a restaurant itself, or should I rent a restaurant or lease a restaurant? Or where should it be? What will my insurance be? what are all those costs? How much will I have to pay for advertising? We have to gather that information, and that's where accounting comes into this decision-making process. Once we have all the information in hand, we've used the accounting system to generate information for us, then we identify the alternatives. Okay, we can have a small hot dog stand here, we can rent one over there, we can rent a larger one somewhere else, we can buy our own building. We've identified the alternatives, and finally we select the best option. That's the decision-making process, steps 1, 2, and 3. And where does accounting come in? Accounting is right here, gathering the information. And unfortunately, all of us have seen businesses, especially small businesses that have started, that skipped step 2, didn't gather information, just assumed that everything would be all right without using the notions of accounting to gather information with which to make this decision. When we talk about business, we often talk about capital or financing. Sometimes we're really not sure what that means. So let's make sure we know, what does capital mean? If I'm going to have a business, I need to have stuff. I got to have buildings, machines, cash, land, a trained workforce. I've got to have stuff to sell. All those things cost money. I need to have money to buy those things. Well, the money I need to buy the resources or things that I need, that's called capital or financing. I can borrow that money. I can invest it myself. I can get some partners in. That's the capital, the money that I use to buy the things that I need in a business. That's capital or financing. What exactly do accountants do on a daily basis in a business? Two things. First, they measure and report. Measure and report all kinds of things. Let's think about Walmart. And we'll just think about the stuff that they sell. All right? What were our sales in this store? Were they more than the last year? Were they on target? What about sales in this region of the country? How about the sales in the country? How about sales worldwide? If you're in Walmart, you want to measure and report all of those things out at each one of those levels in order to run the business better. You also want to go down further. Okay, what are the sales in the store? How about in that department? How about in that aisle? How about of that specific product? We want to measure and report all of those. So accountants gather information, measuring events that happen in the business so that they can be reported to the decision makers. That leads to the second step in what accountants do. The second thing that accountants do, they advise, because accountants understand how things are flowing into business. They understand where the sales are and where the money is coming from, and they're understanding how we're buying the stuff that we're selling and where that money is coming from, and what things we paid for and what things we haven't paid for yet. Accountants understand the detailed activities inside a business. Therefore, they are very well placed to give business advice to the decision makers. And actually, as accountants who are good at their jobs progress in their careers, they don't advise anymore. They make the decisions because they've given advice based on their detailed understanding so long They become the decision makers. What do accountants do in a business? They measure and report, and then because of their detailed understanding, they also advise.